He'd be looking at us. Like anytime I would look back and his eyes would like all of a sudden avert away from us, right? It was weird because, like I said, I got used to like 6 months of every time of a, but he
Oh
would be
my god,
looking
why
at
you
us.
put that?
Like anytime I would look back and with us, right? He would still be like a couple hours away. Over that next like week, we noticed he would be lurking around. He wouldn't be like with us, right? He would still be like a couple hours away, but he would be looking at us.
This shit funny. Uh,
Like anytime I would look back and his eyes would like all of a sudden avert away from us, right? It was weird because, like I said, I got used to like 6 months of every time Danny was back here, that motherfucker was gone. All of a sudden he's not. I was like, all right, whatever. You know, I'm not thinking too much about it. So, like I said, me and Blake noticed this like sudden difference. So we asked Danny, like, yo, and like, did he say something to you when y'all had a ride, like when you gave him a ride home, or like, did he do something? Like, you know, we thought like maybe he was fucking with him and he was just kind of sitting around watching to like make sure he didn't say nothing. But Danny was like, nah, like he played it off cool. And so the vibe was off. You know, you can just tell sometimes that the vibe feels funny. So me and Blake walked up to Terrence one like probably like a week and a half in, and we were like, yo, like what's up with you and Danny? Like, why all of a sudden when this motherfucker come back here now you doing some different shit? Like now you lurking around like fucking you worried he gonna say something or whatever. Like what's up? We were like, did you do something? And he got mad defensive and shit. He's like, no, I ain't doing nothing. Fucking niggas talking about it. Like, you know, just when you get defensive, you fucking over project and shit like that. So he got mad defensive about it, but he said no. So me and Blake kind of looked at each other like, all right, this motherfucker lying, but we left it alone. Dog, like 3 weeks later, right? I'm opening up in the morning with Blake. It's like fucking 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning. I'm still wiping the crust out of my eyes. I'm not a morning person at all. Gang, we walk through the front door of the store, like somebody comes and lets us in. Before we even clock in, bro, everybody is running up to us like, yo, did you hear what happened yesterday? I'm like, the fuck no. Like, we were both off the day before. Apparently, Terrence and Danny got caught hooking up in the men's fitting room.
yes, yes, we love to hear it. Yes, this is what I'm here for.
And when I tell you the look on me, like, jaws on the floor for like a good 30 seconds, like, what? Yo, no. We were like, are you sure you talking about Terrence? And they're like, yeah, da da da. They got caught hooking up. Like, they was like, I'm not talking about like they was like making out. I'm talking about like, Yamin had his Yamin and bros that, you know what I'm saying? Like, they was going at it, apparently. So I'm like, what the fuck? And then it clicks. Me and Blake, I swear to God, bro, it was like me and bro was synchronized. And it was like fucking a moment of clairvoyance hit us both at the same time. Because we both looked at each other like, oh shit. That's why he's been so weird for the last month. I don't know what happened on that ride home, but it was somebody rode something more than a car. So Terrence quit and Danny got fired, obviously, because they got caught. You know what I mean? They got caught by like, I don't know if it was, I don't know who the fuck caught, I don't remember. Somebody caught them, it was an employee or one of the managers caught them. And like I said, it wasn't just a little kissy, it was some other shit going on. But like I said, Terrence quit, Danny got fired, right? And so that happens, you know, it sucked because, like I said, we really liked Terrence and we were cool with Danny too. The girls up front were devastated Danny was gone because, you know, girls and they're like gay best friend or whatever. So we were kind of devastated, like that shit sucked. But, you know, you kind of piece it up, whatever it is, and you move on. And I remember like 3 or 4 months later, right? It's just a regular fucking day. And Blake runs up to me like, this motherfucker is just straight up out of breath. And he's showing me his phone. He's like, bro, look at this shit. Look. And I'm like, what? So I take his phone while he's catching his breath. And it's Terrence, the super homophobe, and Danny, the low-key bad femboy, are dating and together. Like, the shit's posted on Facebook and everything. Like, they got together after they both quit or got fired, whatever the fuck. And, like, me and him are, like, losing our shit, right? Just because, like, I'm replaying everything in my head from the fucking, like, at this point I had worked there probably, like, 9-10 months. So we're just replaying everything, like, all my interactions with him, when Danny would come around.
I'm loving this story.
Like, everything, right? Because it's like, all of a sudden, it's just the cards add up, everything makes sense. Like I said, we kind of understood what it was when they got caught. And now all these months later that they're a couple together, it's just like, oh shit, that was like a real thing. And you know, I've always had this feeling, to be honest, and I'm gonna keep it real with y'all. I've always felt like people who are extremely homophobic, like whether it's hate or just like, ew, I don't want to be around gays, all that shit, whatever the fuck. I've always felt like they're projecting some form of like self-hate they have for themselves. To me, like if you have that big of a problem with gay people, regardless of your cultural upbringing, your religious background, all that shit, whatever. If you have that much of an issue with somebody whose private life has no real effect on your own, I've always been like, you know, those dudes are probably gay themselves. And time and time again, I mean, how many times have we seen like those politicians who run on like anti-gay shit ends up being caught fucking some fucking like 20-year-old intern that's a dude or some shit like that? How many of these fucking preachers or priests or whatever the fuck that are, you know, spewing like super anti-gay rhetoric, which I understand some churches, they're kind of like whatever about it, some aren't, or like, or you know, end up having some secret boyfriend in an apartment in the city, you know, all this other shit, whatever. Just I've noticed most of the time the people who have some unwarranted stupid hatred for a group of people, especially a sexuality, it's usually because they hate themselves. you know, like me and him were laughing, whatever. But like real shit, I'm glad that he accepted himself. And you know what's wild? And I actually went and checked because me and Terrence ended up adding him on Facebook like probably a couple weeks later. And I actually ran into him like years later. I don't remember what the fuck we ran into each other, but we ran into each other and chopped it up for like 15, 20 minutes, whatever. You know, they actually got married. Terrence and Danny to this day, right as I'm recording this shit, June 5th in the morning, they are married and still together to this day. And I was like, you know what, bro? Like, it was a funny story. Like, it's a funny story to me. I figured with it being Pride Month, the timeline aligned perfectly. And if y'all are wondering why the fuck I'm even talking about this, you can thank the Discord, link in the description. I put out a little poll on some topics that y'all might want me to cover. It was a unanimous vote. They wanted to hear about the femboy. So you got an issue with it, taking it with them. But either way, bro, just, you know, happy Pride Month for real, on some real shit. Like, happy Pride Month. Be yourself, bro. I've been preaching that for a little bit. Just be yourself. Be true to yourself. Love yourself.
Yes.
We live in a world that's not always going to accept everybody for everything about them, and that's unfortunate. And that's just the way humans are. You know, we're adverse to things we find strange or different. But end of the day, bro, love who you love.